Welcome to the GSMC Pets Podcast, the show that caters to pet lovers of all kinds. We'll talk about pets on social media, pets doing amazing things, and how to take care of the pets in your life. Whether your pet is a dog, a cat, a llama, hamster, reptile, or something more exotic, you'll find educational and entertaining information on the GSMC Pets Podcast. Hello and welcome to the GSMC Pets Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Sarah, and I am happy to be joining you here on this last day of 2019. It's hard to believe that it's gone so fast. It just feels like, I don't know, like a week ago that we were celebrating the incoming of 2019, and now here we are at the end. So as it is the last day of 2019 and tonight is New Year's Eve, there'll be lots of celebrations going on. I want to talk in this podcast a little bit about some things to keep in mind for your pets on New Year's Eve. They're very similar to things you need to keep in mind on the 4th of July because New Year's Eve celebrations often involve fireworks or firecrackers. Our neighborhood's actually been pretty quiet so far, but there were a couple of loud booms earlier, and I expect that to continue as the night goes on. I'm very grateful that our two dogs are not scared of fireworks, and maybe because they've never been away from us when there were fireworks going on. They're either sitting next to us if it's the 4th of July and we're sitting outside in our yard, they're usually sitting next to us, or if they're in bed with us, they're fine. And I find this amazing because our boy dog, Chalupa, is scared of everything, including beef jerky. He's scared of snacks. Not all snacks, just certain snacks. He'll run and hide behind the coffee table when he sees them. He'll eat them eventually, but when you first bring him out, he runs away. But fireworks, he's not scared of. They don't bark, really. I mean, and they bark at everything. They're convinced everything is trying to murder us, but not fireworks. So I am grateful for that small thing that they are not scared of. But like I said, as long as they're with us, they don't usually have too many problems. But I know lots of friends with pets who do not like fireworks, and actually I heard from a friend of mine tonight who she's in a different time zone, so it's later for them, and her cat was not happy with the fireworks. Yeah, I don't know, usually cats are a little more chill, but her cat was not happy. So here are a few ways to keep your pets safe during New Year's Eve celebrations, or maybe any number of different kinds of celebrations. You should keep your pet in a secure room indoors. And of course, this is different for every kind of pet, right? You know, if your pet is a horse or a llama or a pig, well, a pig could be indoors, but not all pets are going to be able to be kept in a secure room indoors. But you want to make sure they're secured. You don't want them to panic and run away and get lost during celebrations. So especially if you're hosting a New Year's Eve party or a party any time of the year, or if there are those fireworks in your area, you should keep your pet in a secure room. Close the windows, close the curtains to muffle the sound, and always provide plenty of food and water. You could turn on the radio or the television or any kind of white noise to help keep them calm. And this, of course, depends on your pet. Our pets would freak out even more if they were in a room by themselves with white noise and stuff, because they're used to being with us. So it really just depends. Sometimes pets are so anxious on days like this that veterinarians sometimes will prescribe a mild sedative to help ease their stress, but that is something that you would have to talk to your veterinarian about. Make sure that your pets are wearing their collars or their identification tags, or they are microchipped. Make sure, because if they do get freaked out and they end up running away, you want to be able to find them again. You want somebody to be able to get in touch with you. You don't want them just running around out there and ending up in the shelter because they don't have identification on them. This one, hopefully you already know. Keep alcohol away from your pets. Just because you are ringing in the new year with champagne or whatever you are drinking doesn't mean that your dog wants to, or your cat, or your iguana, or your hamster. None of those things. According to the pet poison helpline, alcohol can be toxic to both dogs and cats, and I would assume to many, many other animals. I mean, they're much smaller than we are, first of all, so they are going to have a different reaction to alcohol. So resulting symptoms can be drooling, dry heaves, or vomiting, low blood pressure, and possible coma and death. So just keep them away from it. See your vet immediately. Go to the emergency veterinarian if you have one nearby. Hopefully you do. If you suspect that your animal has ingested any alcohol or any other thing that might be detrimental to their health. Never leave them outside during the fireworks. I mean, they might be an outside dog or cat or what have you, but they can, aside from the stress and the anxiety, they can suffer burns, hearing loss, and even eye damage if they are too close to any explosion. Even having your dog on a leash may not prevent your dog from escaping if they are sufficiently freaked out. If you have a nervous pet, you might want to try to distract him or her. If they're exhibiting uncharacteristic behaviors such as pacing, incessant pacing back and forth, crying or whining more than usual. Maybe they whine a little bit normally. You should try to help distract them through play or some other enjoyable in pet activity. Like with our dogs, it's snuggling. They're perfectly happy as long as they can be in our bed. Actually, they don't care if we're there. They just want to be in the bed. Their bed, not that exciting. Our bed, it's like Disneyland for them. This is for the after the celebration, and that is clean up fireworks debris before letting your pets outside. If pets eat the debris, it can cause digestive problems, and dogs will eat anything. I mean, dogs, and if you have a goat, sometimes they'll eat anything. Just clean up for your pets, and clean up for, even if you don't have pets, clean up because you don't want birds ingesting things, squirrels, what have you. Ingesting debris can cause digestive problems or serious injuries. And again, you should contact your veterinarian immediately if your pets have been exposed to any potentially toxic or poisonous substances. Then also be aware of any New Year's Eve decorations, including streamers or noisemakers, confetti, balloons, tinsel, anything like that your dog could ingest, could choke on. Animals use their mouths to explore the world. They like to sniff things, and they like to examine strange new objects. It's much too easy for them to then swallow those objects. And sometimes it'll just come out the other end, but you do not want to risk them having any kind of internal damage or, digestive issues. So just make sure that you not only clean up the debris from fireworks outside, but be aware if you are having a party or festivities inside that you are, pet-proof your house. You can dog-proof, or you can baby-proof your house. You can also pet-proof your house. You just don't want them to get into anything because they're very curious, and they will go, they're much like toddlers exploring the world by putting things in their mouths. And so you gotta keep an eye on that. So what else would you add to this list? What do you do in terms of keeping your pets calm and safe and happy during holidays like New Year's Eve or the 4th of July, when there are bound to be fireworks or other loud noises? Every pet, of course, is different. So hit me up in the comments on social media. Let me know what you do. I would love to hear your thoughts and what you have done to help your pet calm down. I know they make certain, kind of garments, heavy, like it's like a weighted blanket, I think, for your pets to help calm them down during thunderstorms or fireworks, etc. If you've ever tried one of those, I would love to hear that experience also. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about New Year's resolutions for not only you, but also for you and your pet. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Pets Podcast, and I will be right back.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to the GSMC Pets Podcast. Before the break, we were talking about ways to keep your pet calm and healthy and safe during holidays such as New Year's Eve. And now let's move on to New Year's resolutions. Do you make them? I'm trying to think of how to answer that. Sometimes, I guess, would be the best way to answer that. Sometimes I make them. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I keep them. Sometimes I don't. It really just depends on the year. I don't have a good, solid track record when it comes to New Year's resolutions. I know people who are religious about it and they make a list every year and they try to stick to that list. I know people who are religious about it and they make a list every year and they don't do a thing on that list every year. Really just depends on the person. So what about your pet? Have you ever thought about making New Year's resolutions for your pet? Or what would your pet make as, actually if your pet's made New Year's resolutions, it would probably be things like eat more, snuggle more, sleep more, do all of those fun things more, give me more scritches, throw the ball more times, whatever it is. My bearded dragons would probably say more bath time. We want to be in the warm water. We love bath time. And more freeze-dried mealworms because we love them. So pets would say more of the things they love, of course. What about you and your pet? Well, maybe something to think about as you're going into the new year is your pet's diet. How many of us say, oh, the holidays are here, I'm just going to eat my weight in cookies and then I'll worry about getting my diet and exercise back on track on January 1st. Happens to the best of us, right? Well, what about your pet? What has your pet been eating? Not that your pet has been eating his or her weight in cookies, I doubt, but I hope not at any rate. But the new year is the perfect time to evaluate when and how much your pet is eating, which of course is going to be different for every pet. And so you need to talk to your vet. You need to do some research. You need to know how much and what is best for your pet to be eating. According to a California-based veterinarian, Dr. Jessica Vogelsang, many owners quote unquote eyeball their pet's daily intake and pour that into a bowl, usually resulting in overfeeding and weight gain. I actually have a measuring cup in our dog food, which I try to be very cautious about what I give them, but then I fall short and fail when I give them snacks. Sometimes when I give them their num-nums, which are their little dog bones, dog biscuits, the tiny ones. And sometimes I can go overboard and, they're so cute, right? And you just want to be like, oh, here, have some treats, but you got to be careful. So, use that measuring cup to ensure that your pet is receiving the proper amount of food, at every meal. And the food bag can provide general guidance, but your veterinarian can advise you on the appropriate portion for your pet for his or her size, age, health conditions, etc. This is also a good time to ensure that your pet is eating the proper diet, like I just said, for their age and nutritional requirements. And so you want to make sure that they're eating not only the proper amount, but also the appropriate kind of food for whatever is going on in their health and their age. Maybe you want to try a puzzle feeder. Have you ever tried a puzzle feeder? This could be a New Year's resolution. Some animals get bored easily. I know, like, a lot of birds can get bored easily, and so a puzzle feeder or something to keep them engaged can be good. If you have a more hyper pet, this can be a good idea. And even small changes can improve your pet's day-to-day life. So to easily engage your dog or your cat or other types of pets, you can spice up mealtime with a puzzle feeder. This is from Jessica Gore, a certified professional trainer in the Los Angeles area. I assume she's an animal trainer of some kind, but maybe she's a health I don't know. It doesn't matter. She says puzzle toys increase your pet's mental stimulation and daily life enrichment. Simply switching up your meal delivery by using a puzzle feeder is a wonderful and easy way to improve your pet's life and encourage good behavior. I'm trying to picture our girl dog with a puzzle feeder. She would probably try it and then just look at us like, I knew this would happen one day. I knew you'd stop feeding me. Fine. And she'd go lay down in her bed and sigh and just look at us pathetically. You might want to get serious about your pet's weight loss. Really depends on your pet. Do you have one of those very, very overweight pets? That can be just as bad for pets as it is for us. And so if you've been noticing that they're getting a little extra snuggly, fluffy, whatever you want to call it, you might want to take this opportunity to not only look at their food, but maybe figure out what's going on with their exercise routine. So one study says that the rise in pet obesity can primarily be attributed to feeding habits, including overfeeding, high-calorie treats, and table snacks. Guilty. So Dr. Joyce Logan, a veterinarian at Zoetis, says that obesity has detrimental effects on the overall health and lifespan of pets, including osteoarthritis, diabetes, and dermatological problems affecting skin, hair, and coat. Many diseases can be avoided by maintaining a healthy weight, says Dr. Logan. Work with your veterinarian to determine the best weight loss regimen for your pet. And so your veterinarian can calculate the appropriate amount of caloric intake that your pet should be getting in their daily feedings. They can talk to you about how to get your pet to be more active and just, getting that pet healthier in general so that you can have your pet in your life as long as possible and in as healthy a way as possible. Add an extra walk to your dog's potty schedule. The picture on this one is adorable. It's a pug in slippers, not slippers, but those little shoes that you can put on so that their feet are protected from the ice and the snow. She does not look terribly happy about this, but then pugs always have that squishy little face. So if you are resolving to get your pet healthy this year and you do have a dog that you take for daily walks, then maybe adding an extra walk in there could help. Every little bit helps. And since they are smaller than us, they burn calories differently than we do. So walks can provide exercise. They can provide a different location, a different experience, just getting out of the house. I know our dogs love to sniff when we go out. They're just so excited to be in a different location than where they are all day. And, they have free range. They have a dog door. They can go in and out of the backyard, but still the backyard and the house, not that exciting after a while. So walks can be a good stimulation in terms of changing their day-to-day view as well as getting them some exercise. exercise. You might also want to get creative with the exercise that you do with your dogs. Walks can be great and they can be exciting, but there are other ways to engage your pet in exercise, such as agility training. Obviously, this is more for dogs, or other pets could do it too. I can't quite see a lot of cats getting enthusiastic about agility training. I'm not saying all cats. There could be a cat out there who is perfectly happy to run an obstacle course, but most of the time they're probably just going to look at you and be like, no, thank you. But this can be good for a dog and maybe for your bearded dragon or other pets, your iguana, your guinea pig, your rabbit. I don't know. I really don't know how trainable some pets are, and I guess it depends on the pet and the trainer. Let's go ahead and take our second break of the podcast. When we come back, we'll be finishing up this list of New Year's resolutions and maybe talking about some more pet stories. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Pets Podcast, and I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Pets Podcast. Before the break, I was talking about some different kinds of exercise for your pets, probably your dogs, and that's things like obstacle courses. And even though your cat might not be totally into an obstacle course, it's still important for your cat to play regularly. According to Jessica Char, who is a California-based feline behavior consultant, interactive play is a great way to bond with cats, to give them good physical exercise, and reduce many behavior problems. She says regular daily play sessions decrease demanding behavior, build confidence in shyer cats, and promote positive feelings between cats in multi-cat homes. Depending on your cat's age and health, schedule sessions anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes to reap the benefits, she says. So you can probably do a little research on what kind of interactive play would be best for your cat. Off the top of my head, I don't know what interactive play might be best for your cat. I wonder if that's what my brother was doing, or what he would say he was doing when he wound our cat up and made her attack my ankles every morning. She did get her exercise, as did I, but that's a different story, and you can hear it in the first episode if you didn't listen to that one. What is next in terms of our New Year's resolutions? Let's see. This is a good one. Take care of those chompers. Teeth. You gotta floss, you gotta brush, you gotta, do all those good daily dental hygiene things for yourself and for your pets. So one of the best things you can do for your pet to start their new year off right is to establish an at-home dental care routine. Both dogs and cats benefit from teeth brushing, and other animals need dental care as well. I know some animals in the rodent family, their teeth never stop growing, so they have to gnaw on things. They can have a lot of problems that need to require dental surgery, and so you want to make sure that you know what kind of pet you're getting and what you're getting yourself into. Do they need to gnaw? Do they need, what is their dental routine? In terms of dogs and cats, you should start by brushing your pet's teeth a few nights a week. says one doctor who recommends working up to daily brushings. Sometimes a very slow introduction to teeth brushing, such as one side once a day, can be helpful. A lot of positive reinforcement should be used. Additionally, it's important to have your veterinarian evaluate your pet's teeth, says Dr. Ochoa. A professional cleaning or more advanced dental work might be needed. And, ignoring dental health can be detrimental to everyone's health. It can cause health problems in humans, and it can cause health problems in dogs and cats and other animals. So make sure you know what kind of dental health, dental care, dental routine your particular pet should have, and then work to establish that routine and maintain it. Okay, next one. Schedule a wellness appointment. Yes, if your dog or cat or bearded dragon or what have you, horse, alligator, I don't know. If they haven't seen the vet in a long time, then you should definitely schedule a wellness appointment. Even if your pet appears to be healthy, skipping your annual veterinary appointment can be tempting, but you should not do it. Regular wellness appointments are crucial for ensuring that your pet enjoys a long and healthy life, whatever their lifespan might be. Yearly examinations by the veterinarian are a key component of good preventative care, says one doctor. Many medical conditions such as diabetes, arthritis, and obesity are common in aging pets and much easier to manage when detected in the early stages of the disease process. So yes, you want to catch things early. You want to know what's going on. I mean, you want to keep your fur babies or they're not all fur babies, but you want to keep your babies, whatever kinds of babies you have, you want to keep them healthy, and you want to keep them in the best health that they can be in so that they can enjoy a happy life for however long that they are with you. And so last one is create an emergency pet plan. Hopefully this coming year is calm and peaceful and doesn't involve any kinds of health emergencies for you or your family or your pets. But emergencies, of course, happen, and just like it's important to have a plan in place for your family, it's important to know where your emergency vet is located. It's important to have some kind of pet emergency plan in place. And you need to have something in place in case of evacuation or natural disaster. Everyone lives in an area where something happens, whether that's wildfire, mudslides, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, whatever it might be. You need to have a plan in place. So everyone should have an evacuation plan that includes their pets. Identify and create a list of places to evacuate with your pets in the event of disaster, such as pet-friendly hotels or boarding facilities. One doctor adds, it's important to create a pet-friendly survival kit that's filled with food, medicine, and medical records. Make sure to talk with your veterinarian who can help suggest items for your pet's specific needs. Not every animal is different. Every pet is different. And so depending on your pet's specific needs, you want to have some kind of plan in place to make sure that they are healthy during your time away from their normal environment, their normal routine, etc. Because just think how you feel if you have to be evacuated or if there's some kind of an emergency going on. Your pet is going to feel that as much and more because you're anxious, so that's going to increase their anxiety. They're outside of their normal routine, which is going to increase their anxiety, and just all kinds of anxiety-causing moments. So you need to have everything in place for your pets as well as you and your family. And just like you need to make sure you have your medicines, you need to make sure the pets have their medicines, and everybody is good to go. It may seem like a little bit excessive, but what is that? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Is that how that saying goes? At any rate, doing a little pre-planning, while it may seem silly, while it may seem like nothing is ever going to happen, why am I even bothering with all of this planning? if something ever does happen, you will be so very glad for your pre-planning. So there you have it. You have some health and safety tips for your pets for New Year's Eve, and you have some New Year's resolutions to possibly enact for your pets. So whether or not you create a New Year's resolution list, it's probably a good idea to take this opportunity, even if you don't call them New Year's resolutions, take this new year as an opportunity to evaluate your pet's health, your pet's eating habits, your pet's exercise routines, etc., etc. So I hope that you have a wonderful New Year's, a safe New Year's, and I hope that your pets have a wonderful and safe New Year's as well. Thank you so much for joining me for the GSMC Pets podcast. If you like this podcast, it is new, so you can really help us out by subscribing to it, by giving us a 5-star rating. A written review is great as well. Follow us on social media, comment, interact, do all of those wonderful things that helps to get this podcast out to other pet lovers, that just supports the podcast and boosts our numbers and such, so that we can continue creating content for the pet lovers out there. Happy New Year. Thank you. You've been listening to the GSMC Pets Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all of the shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, from business news to weird news. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's podcast.